The practicalities of quarantine in Thailand. First of all, there's the paperwork. Proof of vaccination. PCR test before you leave. Got to be less than 72 hours before you leave. Insurance. Got to have medical insurance. This is two things. This is the transportation from the airport to the hotel, which you've got to book and pay for in advance. This is the hotel itself, and you can't just stay anywhere. You've got to stay at certain places. This is my PCR test at the airport, which I paid for in advance, and a PCR test that I'm going to do later today, also paid for and booked in advance. This is my Thailand pass. Got me into Thailand. I was also told that I would need an onward ticket from Thailand, which I did not have. They questioned me at Auckland Airport and told me I wouldn't get the 30-day renewable visa. I'd only get 45-day visa free. I got to Thailand and they gave me the 30-day one automatically anyway, so it wasn't a problem. The standard of the accommodation is really good, more upmarket than what I would normally be used to. Well, the one thing I would say about it is that it is remote. There's these sort of tourist enclaves, and to get anywhere outside the resort is a bit of a challenge. So I thought to demonstrate that, I would go for a walk today down this massive cliff on which we are perched. So I'm leaving my little villa. It is now exactly 10 o'clock and I haven't had breakfast yet, so let's get moving. One thing to note as we zoom down the side of the hill here is that if you do quarantine in Phuket, you get the whole of Phuket, and that's a big deal because it's a big island. It's about the same size as Singapore, really. It's 10 times the size of Manhattan. But you will not see the whole island in 7 days. Also, they let you leave the island. You can do these little day trips out to the James Bond Island over in Krabi, that kind of thing. So having arrived at the pool, I now find myself at the border of the resort itself. And they really do let you know that beyond here lie dragons, because here is the sign. Beach pathway. You are now leaving the thing. Use your pathway at your own risk. And recommend use the shuttle service instead. And take care of the following. And, here be dragons. So anyway, we are going to venture forth and fingers crossed we'll make it. When I was in the departure queue at Auckland Airport, there was a lady that came around and checked everybody's paperwork, and she said, "Oh, Thailand, that's one of the most difficult countries to get into." And I've found that, yeah, there was a lot of paperwork, but if you just got all your ducks in order, it worked quite efficiently, really. There are some YouTube videos that tell you how to do it, and I just followed that. And at the Thai end, it was all quite efficient, really. So we have made it to the beach, and sandwiched in between this huge, massive resort over here and my resort, there would appear to be this little place where you can get some food. It looks a bit more of a local place, so we'll see if we can get some breakfast in there. I've ordered a watermelon juice. Breakfast at the hotel costs 280 baht, so I'm hoping this will work out a bit cheaper. And the view's not too bad. I've actually managed to stick to my vegetarian diet since I've been here, which hasn't been easy actually. They put meat in everything. So I finished my breakfast, and that water looks a bit tempting. So I might have a quick dip and then carry on along my journey. Well, my plan for a cheap breakfast didn't work out, to be honest, because they just charged me 200 baht, so not much of a saving. Anyway, I'm going to go and cool down now. I've wandered further along the beach now, which seems to be populated primarily by Russians. Probably a good time to leave Russia right now. And landed at Blue Umbrellas, and this appears to be the town here. So I'm going to wander into town now. So I've wandered up from the beach down there, and by a coincidence I've come straight into the PCR test place, which is behind me, but I haven't got my passport and my receipt, so I'm going to have to go back to the hotel and get those and come back later today for my second PCR test. It's taken me about 2 hours. It's about 12 o'clock now to get here. It's 1 o'clock now. I'm back at my hotel, so that trip took 3 hours. Probably an hour of that was walking to town and back, which I think serves to demonstrate the remoteness of this particular resort, and I think it might be typical of a lot of others as well. 3 o'clock, and here I am back again for my PCR test. Done. They said I'd have the results through in 30 hours, hassle-free. Don't know what the people who complain about PCR tests up the nose being painful, complete nonsense. Of course, it does help to have the correctly shaped nose. And I'm back. My 30 hours is well and truly up, and I haven't had my result. I've been in here and checked with them, and they said I should have had it by email, or my hotel should have had it. So I've just phoned the hotel, we'll see, and they told me to send this place on WhatsApp. They've got me to WhatsApp somebody to ask for my result. So that worked. 25 minutes after WhatsApping them, they WhatsApped me back with a PDF. I think it was my fault. When I went into their system, my email address wasn't in there. I could have sworn I put it in, but anyway. I'm now going to go back to the hotel and print off the PDF. And there it is, the final piece of the puzzle, which means I'm now free to leave the island of Phuket and travel anywhere I want in Thailand. And to that end, I'm going to fly up to Chiang Mai tomorrow. Now, to conclude this video, I'm just going to say a couple of words on what the island of Phuket is like. It doesn't look like the travel brochures, but then nowhere does. The interior of the island, it's got a bit of an industrial kind of vibe to it, if you ask me. The coast, heavy on tourist infrastructure. Having said that, there are a lot worse places to spend your quarantine.